This is what where am I I think it's District 15. What residences Oh my god, this kitchen. How to say kitchen things
Oi,
Hey,
Bibi.
you are here.
What are you doing? You taking the presenter role?
No.
Can
I'm
lah,
just
you
waiting
should.
for you.
Okay, can lah. You do.
I don't want.
You do lah. Okay, come, let's go lah. We do
Let's
the proper one. So, are you just starting out on your property journey or an investor looking for a 4% rental yield property, keeping it at a low quantum of just 1.1 million? Then this project here at Seaside Residences might be the unit just for you. Stay tuned as we share more facts and also numbers about why this project makes sense in today's season. Let's go. So starting off with some facts about Seaside Residences, this is jointly developed by Frasers, Sequoia House and also Keong Heng Holdings. So what you'll notice is that some notable projects done in the area by the developers are projects like Court Yazoo, which is right at your Marine Parade Central. Sequoia House has also been involved in the development of the recent One Holland Village. And what you'll notice is that the entire site plot right here is made up of 4 residential towers that have 27 stories. In terms of what we call a coastal project like Seaside Residences, you generally have 2 facings. So if we pull up the site plan, you'll notice that there will be seafront facing of what we call the coastal view units. And for our unit here at Stack 20, we are mainly facing towards the internal part, which is where you actually still enjoy this unblocked view because we are facing right towards Victoria School. And also if you notice right at the views itself of the balcony later on, the projects there are of lower prod ratio, which also means that the views here are fairly protected in a sense. So if we take a look at the 1-bedroom type units at Seaside Residences, there's a total of 3 different layouts here. We have the 1-bedder compact, which is at Stack 2. This is the only stack of a compact 1-bedder where it doesn't come with a balcony. So for buyers who are really looking to keep like their entry quantum low, this might be open for consideration. The unit type that we are in at Stack 20, this is the 1-bedroom and we also have a balcony. So what you'll notice is that in terms of the walkway and floor plan comparisons itself, this will have a more generic 1-bedder layout, except that it also comes with a storage right at the door front. And lastly, we have the 1+ study layout. So generally for the 1+ study, they will be facing towards the seafront view. Of course, when we talk about sea-facing units, it will be similar throughout the entire East Coast belt, where of course you might then be able to hear some of the vehicular noises along the East Coast Expressway. In terms of the trade-off wise, what we are looking at right here for consideration, imagine today, if let's say you want to get into a product that has a sea view facing, you would ultimately have to top up almost a $200,000 disparity in terms of the sea view. Or alternatively, if let's say you don't mind an internal facing view, what's great also that in terms of facilities for Seaside Residences, this is a full facility condo, comes with your 50-meter slab pool, tennis court, and the developer has also thoughtfully put in a sky terrace at level 14. So assuming that you wish to save on this or repurpose this $200,000 in terms of funds, get an internal facing unit, you can still head up to level 14 at the sky terrace area where you can still enjoy your seafront facing views. So in terms of the site plan analysis itself, if we were to take a look at where the 1-bedders are, this current unit type, which is the 506 square feet unit, we do have 3 which will be internal facing towards the landed enclave, and then 1 that will be more towards the seafront facing. Your 1+ study units, you have 4 stacks that are all external facing towards the seafront view, and then you have just 1 stack of the what we call the 1-bedroom compact without the balcony at Stack 2, and this would sort of have an angled sea view as well. So it's great to also note that if you are in the market for a seafront facing project that's next to the MRT, then Seaside Residences would be one of the newest kid on the block. Now that Thomson-East Coast Line has become operational, you are just almost like a 5 minutes walk towards the Siglap MRT entrance. So for Seaside Residences, it obtained TOP in 2021. The 99-year lease starts from 2016. So you will actually have a very healthy balanced lease of over 90 years at this point of filming. So So you notice that as you enter the unit, even though this is a one-bedroom layout, the width in terms of the walkway and the entrance foyer area is very generous. So this has almost a 2 meters kind of width when you come in. So it's quite unlike typical projects where you see the one-bedders have a very narrow, cramped walkway, and on one side here is where you find the kitchenette zone, and then on the other side, it's great to note that for this project itself, the one-bedders even have space to fit in a storage room right here at the corner. On our left side, this is where you have more storage cabinets. So the developer has also provided an integrated fridge at this tall column area. Countertop space, you definitely have ample enough to fit in your air fryer, probably your water dispenser if you do have, and also like a coffee machine. Tabletop material is made out of quartz, and one thing you'll notice about the design of this kitchenette is that the entire quartz countertop material has been placed towards the backsplash area. And you also notice that typically in projects, the backsplash itself sits on top of the wall area. But for this particular project, if you zoom in right here, you will notice that this is a very seamless layout where the quartz material has actually been set into the wall itself. So you have a very seamless appearance right here. Appliances are mostly from SMEG, so you have your induction cooker, your hood. You also have a microwave, built-in microwave by SMEG as well. Washer dryer is also neatly tucked into the carpentry cabinet, so even if you have friends or guests over, this place looks very neat and tidy. So right now, the current tenant has actually placed like a 2 to 3 seater dining table right here. In terms of recent innovations towards furniture, we have all those expandable table sets. So even though if you have friends, you can actually have like an extendable long table here that can even fit comfortably up to 6 guests. And that's great because this can only be made possible if you have sufficient width in the walkway right here. So tucked towards this corner will be where the bathroom is. So bathroom has been very decently done as well. You have your storage mirror cabinets at the top, vanity counter right at the bottom, similar quartz material for the countertop, and then you also have your rain shower for a separate wet and dry kind of area. So if you were to pull out the floor plan comparisons across the 3 different one-bedder layout type, you'll notice that the compact layout of the 420 doesn't come with a balcony as mentioned earlier, but it's still very efficiently sized in a way that is very similar. You still have your kitchenette, decent walkway, and then your bedroom and living room tucked to one corner, vis-a-vis the 1+ study layout. The main difference is that at the walkway area, for the 1+ study layout, you do have what seems to look like a narrower but longer walkway area to cater for the study table. Alternatively, if you prefer to have something of this current layout where there is a wider walkway space, more space for you to cater for your dining table, then this unit layout might be a closer match to what you're looking for. So in terms of location-wise, where Seaside Residences, we are right beside Siglap MRT, so we are just a 5 minutes walk to the entrance of Siglap MRT. And now knowing that the Thomson-East Coast Line is operational, you are then 2 stops down to the Marina Parade area, which is where I would consider the central of the entire District 15, because that's where you'll find your key amenities like Parkway Parade, and also if you just take a short walk up, you'll hit your I-12 Katong, and you will also get to enjoy the variety of cafes and specialty restaurants at the shophouse area at Joo Chiat and along East Coast Road itself. And the beauty about living at the East Coast Belt is that, in fact, most of the clients or buyers that we have spoke to, actually they do not need to even own a car because they are well connected to the city central as well. Assuming you're traveling towards the CBD area, you are like 7 stops towards Marina Bay along the Thomson-East Coast Line. 1 more stop further down, you'll hit Shenton Way. And also on the weekend, if you are looking for some entertainment and retail therapy, you are right 13 stops all the way towards Orchard MRT directly. Great to note also that in terms of transformation in the area, the entire Bayshore plan has roughly come out in terms of the skeleton structure. One of the land plot has already been bidded and awarded to Singhai, and then we do expect a new launch project coming up there with roughly estimated launch price at about 27 to 28 PSF. So Bayshore MRT is on the other side of the Thomson-East Coast Line. Some things to look forward to is that when the face of Thomson-East Coast Line is opened up from the Bayshore side towards Bedok South, there will likely be a new integrated project at Bedok South MRT. This would roughly be completed in H2 of 2026, so you can expect a new modern mall coming up right at Bedok South MRT. So on the other side of the Thomson-East Coast Line, you will also then be able to transit towards the downtown line at Sungai Bedok. So this will be great news for people who are working further in the east, such as your Changi Business Park, Tampines Regional Hubs. So this will also benefit investor buyers who will then be able to have a new pool of tenants coming in from the east side. And of course, for drivers, you are well connected to the ECP Expressway. The entrance to the expressway is less than 3 minutes drive. It will take you towards the central region of Singapore in just 15 minutes. For recreational activities, and also if you have a very healthy lifestyle, it'll be great to know that the underpass that connects you towards the East Coast Park Belt is just 5 minutes walk away as well at Lagoon View. From there, you'll be able to walk underneath the entire East Coast Expressway and hit the East Coast Park Belt. That's where you'll find your Lagoon Food Village, the wakeboarding park, and also if you like to then cycle through the entire East Coast Belt down to even like Marina Bay, that's where you can actually get connected and linked by. So in terms of further outlook on the transformation that's taking place in the area, I'm sure most of you have heard about the Long Island plan. So what the government intends to do is to create sort of like this entire wall line and makeshift into a small reservoir area along the entire belt from the Marina Bay Sands area all the way down to the Tanah Merah Ferry Terminal. What it will do is then to create sort of like a new waterfront living that also comes with your retail and commercial nodes as well. For buyers who are then looking into Seaside Residences and considering the sea view, this will be something to take note because we are not sure at the moment how high these new amenities are going to be. And if let's say today you might have to invest in a slight premium to get the seafront facing unit versus the internal facing units, then just remember that this disparity effect or this premium gap might not translate into future value. So for this one-bedder layout, the current bedroom or resting zone is tucked towards this corner. In terms of perception of size, this is currently a queen-size bed. You still have space to fit in 2 side tables. So of course, if let's say you're buying this for your own stay and you like to consider some ID works, the entire wall line behind can be converted into a very nice, decent, sort of like a bed head wall. Of course, if you wish to upsize this into a king size or even California king, it's definitely doable as well. Main trade-off is probably you can then just remove one of the side tables. So you notice that in terms of the current layout, it's sort of like an open concept. If you prefer a little bit more privacy, this wall line right here is just nice for you to partition out the resting zone. If let's say you like to do up, maybe sort of like a slide and fold kind of a partition wall or even just a sliding door is definitely doable. The 2-seater couch can then just move forward slightly a little bit and you still have then a very nice private little resting zone right at the back. So for this one-bedder layout, in my opinion, I feel that this is where the sweet spot lies because you do get a very efficient internal area and also a great balance in terms of outdoor space right here where we are at the balcony. This is where you enjoy this view, and more or less, as we mentioned earlier, because this is zoned as an education zone, and also the houses that you see further down, they are all of a lower plot ratio at 1.4. So in the event, if let's say there are any changes or redevelopments to the area, this unit itself is still going to be currently very well preserved in terms of this open view. And at the same time, if you prefer a little bit more space to fit in like a hosting table, a long table, you can opt to actually zip track up the entire balcony area. You can fit in a 6 to 8 seater table, long table right here. And the best thing is that even though the aircon latch is positioned right at the balcony zone, the developers has provided sort of like a privacy screen right there to block off the compressor unit. And before we end off this home tour, let's head back in and let me share with you a little bit more on the financials. So talking about how you can own this unit, assume the purchase price at 1.1 million. In order to get the full 75% loan, you will need to have an income of roughly about $7,500 based on today's TDSR stress rate. That would actually put your monthly mortgage at roughly about $3,174. So assuming you're employed, based on your CPF OA contribution, you're looking at roughly about $1,007 in terms of OA contribution via your salary every month. And this unit itself is currently tenanted at $3,006 all the way up to the year of 2027, roughly March-April period. So what that will look out in terms of your numbers is that after you less off your CPF OA contribution, you are looking at a net positive cash flow of roughly about $1,400 every month. And also assuming, if you want to be conservative and factor in your property tax and also the MCST fee, that would still allow you to net a positive of roughly about $900 every month. On the flip side, if you are considering to buy this for your own stay, assuming the same similar household income of roughly about $7,500 every month will allow you to get the full 75% loan. If you are looking at in terms of monthly cash outlay, lessing off your OA contributions from your salary, you'll be looking at roughly about $1,400 odd every month in terms of cash outlay, which works out to be roughly 20% of your overall salary, which in our opinion is a very conservative approach itself. If you're considering today whether you should buy or rent for your own stay, then it perfectly makes sense because the rental here will be over $3,000. Let's say you're looking for a similar one-bedder unit to rent at Seaside Residences versus owning this at just a monthly mortgage of roughly $3,100 odd every month and still be able to use your CPF OA to offset the monthly installments. So thanks for staying with us throughout this home tour. So just a quick recap, this unit here is a one-bedder unit at size 506 square feet, asking at 1.1. That puts the PSF to be roughly about 2007. This will be great for both investors and own stay buyers alike because as an investor buyer, it's quite rare nowadays to find units that will be able to give you a positive cash flow. So if you'd like to have a physical viewing, the contact details is right below. Remember to follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, YouTube and Instagram. My name is Melvin Chan from PropertyLimBrothers. As always, happy to show you the place. It even have space to fit in a storage room right here at the corner. So this can be where you fit in your bulky luggages. Okay. So Seaside Residences was developed. Sorry,